Take a look at the handful of supplements in your hand every morning. We often believe they are an insurance policy for our health, but have you ever paused to wonder, are you truly taking nourishment or are you unintentionally ingesting slow-acting toxins? After the age of 60, our bodies are no longer the all-powerful machines they once were. Our liver and kidneys have grown weary, no longer possessing the strength to carry the burden of the excesses we pour into them. Here is a harsh truth that few will tell you. The very vitamins that were miracle cures at 40 can now become silent traps at 65. They quietly cling to your blood vessels, accumulate in your liver, and even stealthily destroy sensitive nerve fibers. There are vitamins you take hoping for clearer vision that, in reality, are thickening the risk of a stroke. There are calcium pills you swallow for stronger bones, but without the right guidance, they lose their way, calcifying right inside your arteries and turning your heart into a rigid block of stone. The difference between a sharp, vibrant old age and years spent bedridden often doesn't come down to luck. It lies in the misguided choices sitting right in your family medicine cabinet. Do not let your kindness toward yourself become a cruel betrayal of your health. Why is this happening? And what is the secret behind a specific nutrient that can reduce the risk of death by 36%, which we so often overlook? Join me as we peel back these medical shadows, because the answer will completely change how you view life and vitality in the precious years ahead. The frightening truth is that these dangers are not far off. They are hiding right inside the health supplement bottles you trust the most. Let's start with a very familiar name that holds a dark secret for the aging body: vitamin A in the form of retinol. We often tell each other to take extra vitamin A for crystal clear vision and to keep our skin from withering over the years. But did you know that after the age of 60, our bodies are no longer the perfect filters they were in our youth? Vitamin A, as retinol, is a fat-soluble vitamin, meaning it cannot be easily flushed out through urine. It silently seeks out the liver and fatty tissues to reside in, accumulating day by day like a ticking time bomb. Imagine your liver is like a glass already filled to the brim with water, yet every morning you continue to pour in another drop of retinol. When that glass finally overflows, that is when the toxicity begins to ravage your body from the inside out. Medical research has produced figures that made me stop in my tracks. Excessively high levels of retinol in seniors are directly linked to a 25% increase in the risk of atrial fibrillation, a dangerous heart rhythm disorder that serves as a precursor to fatal strokes. Instead of bringing clarity to your eyes, this excess forces you to face dizziness, nausea, and even worse, it weakens your bones, making them more prone to fractures. This is a tragedy of confusion, where our efforts to nourish actually accelerate the exhaustion of our most vital organs. As a physician, I earnestly implore you to change your perspective. Nature has been very generous in providing us with beta-carotene in carrots, sweet potatoes, and dark leafy greens. This is a smart precursor to vitamin A. The body only converts the exact amount it needs and safely discards the rest. Do not gamble with your heart and brain by taking high-dose synthetic tablets when you could choose a gentler, more sustainable path. The difference between a peaceful old age and a body poisoned by its own anxiety lies simply in whether you dare to let go of that pill and return to original, natural values. If abusing vitamin A is like overflowing a glass that is already full, then the next mistake I'm about to share leaves consequences that are even more silent and persistent, like a slow gnawing from deep within your cells. That is the danger of excess iron supplementation. Many of us still hold on to habits from our younger years when the body needed plenty of iron to regenerate blood and maintain energy. But did you know that once you cross the age of 60, those rules change completely? Except for specific medical conditions, the aging body has almost no effective way to flush out excess iron. When you take iron supplements without a strict prescription, this mineral doesn't just vanish, it begins to find a home in your most vital internal organs. Imagine the water pipes in a historic, grand house over the years. They oxidize and become covered in a layer of rough, crusty rust that clogs and damages the entire system. That is exactly what happens inside your body with excess iron. It clings to your heart, your liver, and especially your brain, creating a terrifying process of biological rusting. This accumulation is not merely a burden on the liver, it is a hidden enemy of the intellect. Modern medical studies have shown a close link between excessively high iron levels and cognitive decline or Alzheimer's disease. Excess iron fuels oxidative stress, destroying sensitive neurons and causing your precious memories to gradually fade. It is heartbreaking to realize that, in our effort to seek strength, we inadvertently accelerate the fading of our own minds. As a physician walking this journey with you, I earnestly ask you to be cautious. After 60, your body's need for iron drops significantly. Instead of placing your trust in synthetic multivitamins packed with iron, listen to your body and prioritize nutrition from natural foods if truly necessary. Do not let a lack of information turn an essential mineral into a toxin that quietly erodes your clarity and vitality. We deserve an old age that is not just long, but truly high in quality, where the heart and brain are not besieged by the rust of our own mistakes. Beside the concerns about metal accumulation, another frequently overlooked danger is the way we try to protect our skeletal frame, but unintentionally put our heart in a vulnerable position. I'm talking about the habit of taking calcium supplements alone, a common mistake many of you are making in the hope of keeping your bones strong against the ravages of time. As you know, the fear of osteoporosis and the dread of falls leading to fractures at this age are very real and deeply concerning. But the moment you swallow plain calcium pills without the presence of diligent guides, that is when the tragedy begins. Imagine calcium as a precious but blind resource. Without guidance, it won't know the way to your bones or teeth. Instead, it wanders into places it's not supposed to be, specifically soft tissues and especially the arterial system. Rather than strengthening your bones, this calcium clings to the walls of your blood vessels, creating hardened plaques and turning blood streams that should be soft and flexible into rigid, fragile pipes. Clinical studies have produced a figure that should give anyone pause. Taking calcium supplements alone increases the risk of cardiovascular disease and heart attacks in seniors by up to 22%. While you are trying to save your bone structure, you are inadvertently fossilizing your own circulatory system. Misplaced calcium also creeps into the kidneys to form stones or attaches to joints, causing persistent aches and pains. This is no longer nutritional supplementation, it is a serious biological imbalance. As your companion, I want you to understand that our bones need an entire ecosystem to survive, not just a single mineral. For calcium to truly be a lifesaver, it must go hand in hand with vitamin D3 to be absorbed into the bloodstream, and more importantly, vitamin K2 to be activated and guided precisely into the core of the bone. Do not let your kindness and health anxieties turn you into a victim of information deficiency. Remember, a resilient heart and clear blood vessels are just as important as a solid skeletal frame. Don't let the calcium pill you take every morning become a heavy burden for your heart. But the tragedy of misguided supplementation doesn't stop at hardened blood vessels. It creeps into your most delicate nerve fibers, where a seemingly harmless nutrient like vitamin B6 can become a silent betrayer. Many of you turn to vitamin B6, hoping to sharpen your memory, boost your energy, and soothe a nervous system that is gradually wearying with the years. However, there is a very thin line between support and destruction that few people warn you about. After the age of 60, our nervous system becomes naturally more sensitive and vulnerable to changes in its internal environment. When you take high doses of B6, often found in multivitamins or high-potency nerve supplements, you are unintentionally forcing your body to confront a literal neurotoxin. Instead of nourishing you, this excess begins to attack the protective sheath of your peripheral nerves, causing damage that, at times, can be irreversible. The saddest part is that the body's warning signs are often ignored by us, and even by healthcare professionals, or simply dismissed as a natural part of aging. When you start feeling that pins and needles sensation in your toes or fingers, or notice your steps becoming unsteady and losing your balance, you might sigh and say, "I guess I'm just getting old." But no, that could be the desperate cry for help from a nervous system being poisoned by the very supplement you swallow every morning. This disastrous confusion leads many people to continue increasing their dosage in hopes of fighting off the symptoms, only to sink deeper into a spiral of physical decline. As a physician, it breaks my heart to see patients lose their independent mobility simply because they lacked a moment of caution before reading a supplement label. Vitamin B6 is only truly your friend when it comes in moderate amounts from natural foods like fish, bananas, or grains. Once it is compressed into high-dose pills, it becomes a razor-sharp, double-edged sword. Don't let your golden years be defined by numbness, tingling, or the constant fear of falling. Understand that a healthy body after 60 requires a delicate touch and care, not a forceful bombardment of high-dose chemical compounds. Your mental clarity and the mastery of your own feet are your most precious assets. Protect them with knowledge rather than blind faith in flashy advertisements. Once we courageously step past the traps of overusing synthetic supplements, a new door opens, leading you to true companions, the silent saviors that have been waiting to restore vitality to your body, starting with magnesium. I often call magnesium the silent builder of life because this mineral participates in over 300 different biochemical reactions, keeping your heartbeat steady and your nerve cells soothed. However, a concerning reality is that most of you sitting here are severely deficient in magnesium without even knowing it. Have you ever felt your legs become restless at night, suffered from sudden cramps that wake you up, or felt your heart skip a beat due to unexplained anxiety? These are not merely signs of aging. They are cries for help from deep within your cells as your magnesium stores run dry. This is especially true for those of you treating blood pressure with diuretics, as this precious magnesium is flushed out even more easily, leaving a massive gap in your body's defense system. Properly supplementing magnesium after the age of 60 isn't just about taking a pill, it is about restoring peace to your nervous system. Magnesium acts like a natural sedative, helping you drift into a deeper sleep where your body can heal and regenerate after a long, tiring day. It doesn't stop there. It also serves as a guardian for your heart, helping to regulate blood pressure and easing the strain on blood vessels that are no longer as flexible as they once were. When your body's magnesium levels are balanced, you will feel a miraculous change. Stress gradually fades, muscles relax, and a gentle wave of energy begins to return. As a physician who is always concerned about the quality of life for seniors, I want you to understand that magnesium is the foundation of recovery. Instead of chasing distant promises of expensive miracle drugs, start by filling this nutritional void. The presence of magnesium will completely change how you experience your later years, transforming your twilight years from a time of endurance into days of enjoying life fully and clearly. Let this silent builder begin its work today so that every heartbeat and every night of sleep is protected in stillness and strength. Once we courageously step past the traps of overusing synthetic supplements, a new door opens, leading you to true companions, the silent saviors that have been waiting to restore vitality to your body, starting with magnesium. If magnesium is the silent builder repairing the cracks within, there is another supreme commander standing at the center, coordinating the entire life force and strength of the body that we cannot fail to mention: vitamin D3. I often call vitamin D3 the master switch of life because it is not merely a vitamin. It actually functions as a powerful hormone governing thousands of biological processes. My dear friends, imagine your immune system and your skeletal frame as an elite army. Without vitamin D3, that army falls into a state of hibernation, lost, disoriented, and incapable of protecting you against the storms of aging. The harsh reality is that as we cross the age of 60, our skin no longer synthesizes vitamin D from sunlight as efficiently as it did in our youth, and a typical diet rarely fills this vast void. D3 deficiency is the root cause of brittle bones, weakened muscles, and notably, a spirit that easily slides into melancholy and loneliness. Maintaining an optimal level of vitamin D3 in your blood is not just a story about joints, it is a shield for survival itself. Medical studies have proven a staggering truth. Seniors with stable vitamin D3 levels can reduce the risk of death from all causes by up to 30%. When you provide enough D3, you are directly activating your body's defensive barriers to fight off infections, keep your heart beating steadily, and ward off persistent bone and joint pain. Most importantly, D3 acts as the conductor that helps calcium follow the correct path into your bones, making your efforts to nourish yourself meaningful instead of allowing that calcium to harm your blood vessels. As Dr. Thomas Wilson, I want you to view vitamin D3 as a gift of light for your twilight years. Do not let yourself live in the shadows of exhaustion simply because you lack this vital switch. Supplementing D3 in the correct dosage is how you reignite the flame of life, keeping your body resilient and your mind radiant. Let vitamin D3 and magnesium form the perfect duo, protecting you as you navigate the storms of aging with peace and pride. Life still holds so many beautiful things in store, and you need a body strong enough to fully enjoy every single one of those moments. Once the master switch of life, vitamin D3, has been flipped to protect your bones and immune system, we need another source of enduring energy to keep the supreme control center, your nervous system, and your blood running smoothly. That is the irreplaceable role of vitamin B12. I often call vitamin B12 the spark plug of the aging body. Without it, every process of nerve transmission and red blood cell regeneration stalls, much like a luxury car that refuses to start for lack of an electric spark. My dear friends, there is a heartbreaking paradox after age 60. Even if you eat plenty of meat, fish, or eggs, your body can still fall into a severe B12 deficiency. The cause lies within our own stomachs. As time passes, natural stomach acid levels decline, making the extraction of B12 from food an overwhelming task. This deficiency happens quietly, without fanfare, but its consequences for the brain are devastating. Imagine your nerves as electrical cables and vitamin B12 as the protective insulation that ensures signals are transmitted accurately and swiftly. When this coating wears thin due to a lack of nutrients, you will begin to notice your memory becoming hazy, a lingering, bone-deep fatigue, and unpredictable mood swings. More alarming still, medicine has proven that prolonged B12 deficiency can lead to brain atrophy and permanent dementia, a cruel sentence that we can absolutely prevent. For seniors, checking B12 levels and supplementing with highly absorbable forms is no longer an option. It is a vital requirement to protect your identity and your clarity. As a physician who wants you to enjoy your golden years to the fullest, I implore you never to overlook this silent hero. Supplementing vitamin B12 correctly is like buying a precious insurance policy for your brain and circulatory system. Do not let your beautiful memories and mental sharpness be stolen away simply because of a lack of stomach acid or a tiny vitamin pill. Keep your spark plug firing bright so that the journey ahead remains filled with energy and wisdom, allowing you to cherish every precious moment with your family and loved ones. If the clarity of the brain is sparked by the electrical impulses of B12, then to keep that entire system operating with resilience against the erosion of time, we need a formidable protective layer and a smooth flow that only omega-3 can provide. I often call omega-3, specifically the components EPA and DHA, the gold insurance policy for senior longevity. My dear friends, imagine your blood vessels. After more than 6 decades of service, they have become stiff and vulnerable, much like riverbeds clogged with silt and debris. Omega-3 acts as a stream of fresh, cool water, clearing away inflammatory plaques, restoring elasticity to the vessel walls, and helping blood circulate gently to the farthest reaches of your body. In the medical world, we consider this one of the most powerful nutrients to confront the silent enemy known as chronic inflammation, the root cause of almost every debilitating disease in old age, from joint pain and cardiovascular issues to cognitive decline. But what I truly want you to take to heart is a statistic that could completely change your perspective on healthcare. Large-scale clinical studies have shown that individuals with high levels of omega-3 in their blood can reduce the risk of death from all causes by up to 36%. This is not just a soulless number. It is proof that we can extend our happy years with our grandchildren by several more years just by making one right choice every day. Omega-3 doesn't just protect the heart from sudden infarctions. It is also an essential nutrient that builds the membranes of brain cells, keeping your mind sharp, your eyes bright, and your heart full of vitality. As your companion physician, I earnestly ask you to view omega-3 as a soulmate that you cannot afford to live without on this journey through your sunset years. Do not let your body wither and become exhausted for lack of this precious lubricant and shield. A quality omega-3 regimen is the strongest commitment you can make to yourself, a promise that we don't just want to live longer, but we want to live brilliantly, healthily, and with full dignity. Let this miraculous nutrient nourish every cell so that every day that passes is a gift of freedom and intense vitality. The journey of understanding these vitamin pills that we have just traveled together is not merely a medical story. It is, in fact, a profound dialogue between us and our own bodies after more than 6 decades of devotion. My dear friends, after all the analysis of traps and saviors, the most significant takeaway I want you to feel is an appreciation for the changes of time. Our bodies in these later years are like classic works of art. They require delicate, meticulous care and understanding rather than the blunt force of chemical compounds. Courageously facing the truth that more is not always better is a major turning point. We have learned how to reject false friends like accumulating retinol, rusting iron, stray calcium, or high-dose B6 that paralyzes the nerves. At the same time, we have opened our hearts to magnesium to rediscover sleep, vitamin D3 to light up the immune system, B12 to protect the intellect, and omega-3 to sustain the flow of life. A healthy body after 60 is not built on the quantity of supplements you take, but rather formed by the quality of each smart choice and a thorough listening to even the smallest signals from within. Aging is not a process of decay, but a biological transformation that requires a new language of care. The greatest lesson here is delicate balance and personalization. We cannot apply the formulas of youth or anyone else's journey to our own unique bodies. Every nutrient supplement must be based on a foundation of scientific understanding and an insight into one's own actual absorption capacity. Tonight, please check your medicine cabinet. Be bold enough to set aside or discuss with your doctor any high-dose multivitamins with no clear purpose. Return to meals rich in natural beta-carotene, magnesium, and omega-3 before reaching for a tablet. Do not wait until the body is aching or weak to take action. Get your vitamin levels tested periodically to know exactly what your body truly lacks, rather than supplementing based on guesswork. Before we close our conversation today, I would love to hear from you. Among the vitamins I have shared, is there one you are currently using that has surprised you the most regarding its effects or perhaps its side effects? Please politely share your thoughts or personal experiences in the comments section below. Your insights are an incredibly valuable resource for this community and for others walking this same path. If you found this medical knowledge truly helpful, please hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to support me. Your companionship is the greatest motivation for me to continue researching and bringing more valuable content, helping us all live out our later years with strength and clarity. Thank you all so very much.